All right, so for this week, we have the Master Crota Challenge, which is for the Crota encounter itself, and I am using essentially the same build that I used for the Master Ear Ute challenge and encounter. Typically, between my three characters, Warlock, Titan, and Hunter, for Ear Ute and Crota, I don't do a lot to change my loadout. I only change my weapons. For example, like for Ear Ute, it is typically precision-based weapons, so I'll go with like linears, different primaries, etc. And then for Crota, basically just switch out to swords. And for my damage loadouts, for Ear Ute and Crota, I have two loadouts. So for Ear Ute, I'll have a setup loadout and then a damage loadout. And then for Crota, same thing, setup loadout, and then a damage loadout. I always switch to my damage loadout like right before we're about to do damage. And the only thing that I change between Ear Ute and Encounter on this loadout is Lucent Blades, right? Because obviously I'm using a sword for Crota, so I'll use Lucent Blades. And then because I'm using a linear, for example, on Ear Ute, I'll have harmonic unflinching in the place of Lucent Blades. And I might have on like a harmonic loader on my arms instead of like the fonts or the impact induction. But other than that, and then the surges are just relevant to whatever weapons I'm using. I try to just stick with the same weapon so I don't have to do a whole lot to change my loadouts when I do the raid. Right, I just like to kind of come in with a plan. Like I'll have one build for the Abyss, for example. This would be kind of like my build for the Abyss, swarmers with grapple and a sword to skate around. And then for the bridge, I'll use something like Shade Binder. And then for Ear Ute, I'll use this setup up here, but instead of swords, I'm using linears. And then for Crota, I'm using swords. So anyways, this is my build for Crota. And on Master difficulty, well, the challenge is really just completing it on Master. The actual raid challenge for Crota is not that difficult. It is just taking Crota's shield down in one phase. So and it needs to be like it's in a fairly tight time window. It's like within 3 seconds of that first sword hitting Crota's shield. Like you have 3 seconds to get his shield down or something like that. You can't really space out your two swords people or three. For this run where we successfully completed it, we were doing 3 swords, and then if somebody died, like if somebody that was enlightened died, we had that failsafe of trying to make it work with 2 swords. And you can do it with 2 swords, but the 2 people doing the swords need to have the optimal combo, which is typically like heavy, super heavy, and each sword person will space out their attacks by about 2 seconds. So like the first person with the sword will strike first, and then the second person with the sword will wait 1 or 2 seconds before doing his combo, because I think I've heard that the supers don't stack, right? So you actually lose out a bit of damage if like both swords people started their combo at the exact same time with the exact same combo. And then you wouldn't be able to take a shield down in one phase with 2 swords that way. So the easiest way to do it is just to do it with 3 swords. But there is a trade-off to using 3 swords, because then you have less time for... you need to be quick about killing Boomer Knights and killing Unstoppables, which means that the middle of the encounter is going to be a little bit chaotic, because you're going to have where the 2 ogres spawn on either side of the knight. The knight comes out of the center door, the sword bearer knight, and the ogres spawn out of the pools on left and right. Well, on Master, they're unstoppable ogres. and so you need to be on your game in getting them stunned and quickly killed. And then once the ogres are killed, then something like 4 solar shielded wizards spawn, and the wizards will blast you with arc and get you bogged up in their poison cloud, and so they can just easily kill everybody in the map if people go into this without like top tier builds. Basically, you want to build into survivability like you would for like a GM or something if you're going to be playing in the middle of the map. So this week we have Solar and Strand Surge, and as you can see here, I just got my ship because this was actually my first Master clear. I didn't bother to do it on Master until I knew there was going to be a challenge for it, because you can't get the title for the raid anyways until all the challenges are available. So I didn't feel like trying to farm Master Crota before the challenge was up anyways, so I just waited until reset day today. But pretty cool ship. You will get it if you complete the whole raid on Master along with a Sparrow. But yeah, as you can see here, we've got Strand and Solar Surge along with fusion rifles. So I didn't think about 1000 voices, but that could be something. I'm not sure. I guess not, probably, because you can use anything solar. So I mean, this is perfect for Lament, right? Yes, Bequest with Surrounded is the best alternative to Lament, and it can even potentially output more damage than Lament if your team is setting up to proc Surrounded. So like doing damage on the left or right side of the bridge where there's a lot of enemies underneath to get Surrounded proc, you can do that with Bequest. But on Master difficulty, it is less viable to use Bequest simply because of the necessity for survivability. So unless you have like 5 or 6 Warlocks with wells, then Bequest with Surrounded might suffer a little bit. Like if you go outside of the well with Bequest, then you might die very easily, whereas with Lament, you have a chance to survive just because you heal while doing damage with Lament. So I would highly suggest using Lament and getting your combos correct with Lament, which is with 1 copy of Lucent Blades. This will allow you to do the 2-1-2 optimized DPS combo consistently. If you don't have Lucent Blades, then you might want to do a 3-1-2 combo, and if you try and do 2-1-2, you might get away with a couple combos like that, and then all of a sudden you'll like start whiffing your sword, whiffing your combos, because the recharge rate will not be able to sustain the 2-1-2 combo without Lucent Blades. So definitely run Lucent Blades. Do a 2-1-2 combo. For your actual first opening combo attack versus Crota, when you have full sword energy, you can do 4 or 5. You could do 4 or 5 1-2. So for example, I would go like say 4-1-2 and then 2-1-2 for the rest of the time, because on your opening attack you have full sword energy. So once you deplete that full sword energy, then you have to do a 2-1-2 combo basically to keep up with the recharge rate. So it will allow you to get like a slightly higher opening attack damage, because you'll have more Banshee's Wail from a 4-1-2 or a 5-1-2. So that's typically what I do. Now I'm using, like I said, I'm using the same build that I used for Ear Ute. On my setup loadout here, I'm using Cenotaph obviously, so I'm going to be making heavy ammo for my teammates, and I'm going to be providing a well. In this run, we only had 2 Warlocks and we had 4 Titans. And so 2 Warlocks is, I would say, the bare minimum. If you have some Titans with Burning Maul, and they know how to stun Crota, then you can keep Crota stunned, and you can potentially save the well, save the first. Like if Crota is not stun locked by Burning Maul, then he will easily destroy the well. And so that's when the second well and the third well and the fourth well comes in handy, because yes, a lot of people are asking just to do this with like all wells. But you could definitely do it with Titans if they have Crota under control, and 2 wells will be fine. But what about the job? So like obviously I have a job that I'm doing here, because this is a little bit different than normal on Master. Not like, obviously you have unstoppables to deal with, so you need to kit out your loadout for unstoppable champions, but also you need somebody to actually grab Crota's gaze in the same way that somewhat like in Root of Nightmares somebody has to grab Nezaric's gaze. Whereas in Root of Nightmares with Nezarec, it is more of like a necessity to grab his gaze. With Crota, like, you could still technically do the encounter without grabbing his attention, but somebody needs to distract Crota because he hurts. He will. Everybody that's down in the middle of the map, trading the chalice around, getting enlightened, getting the swords, taking care of the unstoppables, dealing with the wizards and the cursed thrall. The last thing that they need is Crota on master difficulty blasting them with arc, because he'll kill everybody down there, plain and simple. So somebody needs to have a job of distracting Crota, and somebody with like a Titan can do it with stronghold gauntlets, or anybody can do it if they post up on the balcony, and you'll see this gameplay. I'll attach it to the video. And so this was kind of the first role that I learned on master difficulty, and I just decided to stick with it and build my loadout around it. So basically, I post up on the balcony and I just constantly shoot Crota in the head, so that he'll focus on me and he can blast me with arc, and it's just gonna hit the floor underneath me, and I can basically avoid any taking damage from Crota, but at the same time I'm totally grabbing his focus, so he's shooting me and not my teammates, and I can also lure him like left or right away from the chalice trading spots, right? So like if my teammates need to trade the chalice on top left, for example, and Crota is on top left, well, then I could just move over to the other side of the balcony, and then, he will move when I move, right? He'll actually move away from you. So if he's on left and you're on the right side of the balcony, then, and you want to get him to move to the right side of the right side of the balcony, or the right side of the room, you need to move to the left side of the balcony. It's kind of like you just trade spots with him. But yeah, basically you just want some weapon that could do sustained damage. And then because I'm using Cenotaph, I'm actually micromanaging making heavy ammo for my teammates, and grabbing Crota's gaze and collecting ammo for myself with a shoot to loot weapon. Because if you saw my Ear Ute build with Cenotaph, I paired it with a shoot to loot weapon as well. Just extremely good, especially when you have a job to do and you don't want to risk your life to go out and collect ammo. You can just shoot it with a shoot to loot weapon. So that's why I'm using on my setup loadout here, Hung Jury. I would have preferred shoot to loot with explosive payload, just in general, for picking up bricks and orbs, because you don't have to be pinpoint accurate. You could just shoot in the general vicinity of ammo bricks or orbs, and it'll just pick them up for you. So even like if ammo is hiding around a corner and you didn't even know, and then you come to find out there was a heavy brick there, because now all of a sudden you got heavy ammo. So without explosive payload, you have to aim and you have to shoot the bricks specifically, and this can be a pain because you only have like a second to shoot a brick before you have to start shooting Crota in the head again. Because if you stop shooting Crota for 1 or 2 seconds, he could potentially look at your teammates down below and blast them with arc, and your teammates will not expect it, and they will just die right away. So yeah, you need to be fast. You need to be constantly shooting Crota. As soon as the Unstoppables spawn and the Knight, I mark one with acacias so that I can mark them with Cenotaphs so that my teammates can get heavy ammo when they kill that enemy. And then I just mark, and then I go back to shooting Crota. And then if I have time, I'll mark a Knight or the other Unstoppable, go back to shooting Crota. While I'm shooting Crota, just peek down into the map every now and then. Wherever there's orbs, wherever there's ammo, I just pick them up as needed just by quickly looking over there and shooting, picking stuff up with shoot to loot, then back to shooting Crota. So you have to be quick when you're micromanaging these things. But yeah, so the build basically, like as you've seen with your Ute, nothing has changed here. So I didn't really go into optimize this specifically for Crota, but if you really wanted to be optimized for Crota, run Healing Rift instead of Phoenix Dive, because when you're posted up on the balcony, if you're doing the job that I'm doing, then a Healing Rift is probably just going to be better than a Phoenix Dive, because you can sit in your Rift and shoot Crota, whereas if you get critical and then you have to take the time to Phoenix Dive, well, in that time, Crota can focus his attention elsewhere. Celestial Fire for the range and for proccing Radiant, Healing Grenades for giving restoration ×2 to myself and my teammates from Touch of Flame, Ember of Benevolence, so that when I give Radiant or Restoration to my teammates or Cure from Phoenix Dive, I proc Benevolence, and that boosts ability recharge rates. Obviously Torches for Radiant, and then Ashes and Char, just for more celestial fire damage, but these two are pretty optional, I would say. And then obviously Wall of Radiance. Already went over Lament, and then as far as the combat mods go here, heavy ammo finder and heavy ammo scout. I need heavy ammo finder because, being the Cenotaph person, I'm going to be the only person that struggles to actually get heavy ammo. So it depends on what your teammates are doing. Like if there's another Cenotaph Warlock, then obviously this won't be an issue. You'll have plenty of heavy. But otherwise, you might want to ask somebody to run Aeons, because they can finish the champs in the middle and the night and produce heavy ammo for me, well, and for everybody. But generally speaking, like, I'll produce enough heavy ammo for the whole fire team, except for me. So if your fire team members are running at least heavy ammo finder and heavy ammo scout, you should be fine. You should get enough bricks for every damage phase. But if people aren't running like heavy ammo scout, then you might be suffering. So this was the case in this run here. It's just my teammates weren't producing heavy ammo for me, and I can't add clear while focusing Crota and marking targets with Cenotaph. I might be able to kill an enemy every now and then, but I'm not killing enough adds to actually produce my own heavy ammo. So I asked if somebody would mind using Aeons during setup, and somebody volunteered to do so, and they only had to do like 1 or 2 finishers in between phases, just to give me 2 bricks, and then that'd be good enough for a damage phase. Kinetic loader for Hung Jury, because I want to be constantly reloading it. Obviously I'm constantly shooting Crota, so it's kind of the point there. Harmonic Dexterity, so that I can pull out that Cenotaph, or pull out my trace rifle very quickly, mark a target, put it away, get back to shooting Crota in the head with Hung Jury. Focusing Strike is more just for like the gameplay loop of, if I have to use Celestial Fire, then I'll get my Phoenix Dive back faster. Concussive with double arc resist, like, if honestly, if you could fit this into your build, I would just suggest that everybody run concussive with double arc. Everybody. It's just going to be it's almost necessary, at least one concussive and one arc resist, because the wizards are doing arc damage, the boomer knights are doing arc damage, Crota's doing arc damage, and it's a lot of area of effect damage as well, so concussive comes in there as well. Stacks on stacks, just so I can get my armor charge up there a little bit quicker. I'm also using rapid fire ranger with a scout rifle, wherever that is, right here, or not, no, semi-auto striker. So just by getting critical shots with my scout or bow will also give me armor charge, so that's not an issue. But scavenger, obviously, so that you can ensure you, like, between each damage phase while doing your job, you need to be micromanaging your ammo economy and making sure that you're actually topped up. So taking the right moment to go in and collect your bricks or look for them with shoot to loot and shoot them. Yeah, pick a time to do it that's convenient so that you don't like fail at your job, whatever you're doing, for the mechanics. Innervation, because I do want as many healing grenades as I can. I'm running tier 9 discipline here, which is just the best I can get on this build, I think, because Ember of Torches penalizes your discipline stat by -10, but when I shoot orbs, I get grenade energy, and that's just going to allow me to throw my healing grenades out to my teammates that much more often. And another thing that's key about healing grenades with this build is that if you lose Crota's focus for that 1 or 2 second, window where you went to go mark an unstop with your trace rifle or shoot an orb or shoot a brick to top up your armor charge and your super and your ammo, then Crota's going to go look at he's going to start blasting your teammates in the middle. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but it can very easily. So in the case that it does, I can immediately throw my grenade out. Like if I see that I lose Crota's attention and he starts blasting my teammates, I look at where he's blasting and I throw a grenade at that area, even if I don't see my teammates there, because Crota knows that my teammates are there, and that's why he's shooting over there. So I just Hail Mary a healing grenade out there in the case that it could potentially save my teammate's life. Right. So it's just about being a good team player. These mods here are pretty irrelevant for, like, standing up on the balcony to do this job is not really something that you need to build into a whole lot, other than, like I said, making sure you have healing grenades and your ammo and shoot to loot and damage resistance and reloader and dexterity. Like, that's pretty much it. It's not like focused so much on ability gameplay loop or anything like that. So these are all just kind of toss-ups. I didn't have time to do finishers. I just need a finisher mod so that my armor charge will have a function on this setup so that I can collect armor charge, because if you don't have that, then you just can't get armor charge, right? Orbs will give you nothing. So then the main build is really the damage build, right? Because you want to be doing as much damage as possible. The safest strat is to just settle for a 3-phase. Like, unless you see that after 1 phase, Crota's like well below half and everybody's just done incredible damage, then don't bother trying to 2-phase it. Just get them to like just above final stand and then do a 3rd phase. That's what I'd suggest. So for my damage loadout, then I'm using, none of this matters. What matters here is that I'm maxing out my discipline for grenade energy, because, in the case that we end up outside of the well or we lose the wells, I can throw a healing grenade. Dexterity, so that I can pull out Lament faster, because if we get outside the well, I can stow Lament and throw my Celestial Fire to proc Radiant, and then pull Lament back out. So Dexterity helps with getting back to damage faster. And then Impact Induction, like with Font of Focus, are just kind of working in tandem together to help get healing aids back faster in case we need them. I couldn't actually fit in arc resist here because I didn't want to sacrifice. Actually, I could have. I could have used strength. I could have used strength here instead of resilience, and then run arc resistance for 2 energy instead of harmonic resistance for 1 energy. So again, like I didn't really focus too much on optimizing my builds here. Just as long as I had, plus I was assuming that we were going to be in a well of radiance the entire time. So I figured, and if Crota is stun locked, then you don't really have to worry too much about arc resist. But you definitely want lucid blades on there, like I said, just for that damage combo uptime. And then triple solar surge, obviously to give Lament 22% more damage. Powerful traction can be nice if you need to top up your armor charge, but time dilation is really the more important one here, for 15 seconds per armor charge, so that's 45 seconds. You can get away without using it. Your teammates will be making orbs anyway, but yeah. And then bombers, so if I do need to do a Phoenix dive, like when we're outside of our well at the end of damage phase, I can Phoenix dive, cure people, get my grenade back faster, heal people with my grenade. So again, just playing into that support role. And then obviously as well, monochromatic maestro. This is, you should 100% be using this if you're on a solar subclass using solar weapons. During a week when solar is the surging element, so solar is doing 25% more damage already just from the weekly modifier. And then with monochromatic maestro, my celestial fire and my weapons will be basically synergized together to each do 10% more damage, basically, on top of all the weekly surges and all the surge mods on my legs. This is just a free extra 10% damage. So definitely use that if you're using like synergistic builds. That's pretty much it. So, and as I said, like there's different strats for this encounter. Some people can 2-sword it, some people can 3-sword it, but if you end up in a fire team on LFG, this run is LFG, and everybody's persistent about doing it with 2 swords instead of 3, and it's just not working out. Like you just keep failing. Like if people just can't get a shield down, then just suggest that you do 3 swords. And if nobody agrees, just find another fire team or make your own. Because by that time you'll probably have the checkpoint from all the fails, and then you'll be able to control your own fire team if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. So I still got to do it on Titan and Hunter, so I'll post those videos as well, and hope you enjoy the gameplay, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, as far as the loot goes too, because I've been showing these on all my mission specific builds. This is I put all these videos into a playlist because I haven't put thumbnails together for these videos or done any like editing or highlight clips or anything like that. This is just very easy for me to get up there in time, and I could put out more volume for you guys, more videos like this. I will try my hardest to do some more quality content with nice thumbnails and face cam and comment, like more scripted commentary perhaps. But yeah, I got something here that unfortunately I'll probably just be turning this into shards because this is not going to do me any good in PvE. This opening shot, I guess, is more of a PvP perk. So yeah, but you never know what you'll get. That's part of the fun of doing these master challenges, is you're rolling the dice to hopefully get a god roll adept raid weapon that you cannot craft. They're better than the non-adept craftable weapons because you can enhance the perks. And you can change all the barrels and all that stuff. So really, you could just get a slightly better version. And let's face it, it's kind of a little bit of a flex because it says adept and it's a gold gun instead of the regular gray and green one. So yeah, it just looks cool. Yeah. Anyways, see you in the next one. Yeah, yeah, just finish it if it's practical. It's literally just for me that I need heavy. You guys should all be good from my cenotaph, so. Or a couple people run heavy ammo scout should also be good. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention here as well is when shooting the wizards, I try to shoot them to proc kinetic tremors, so that it will, because if you didn't know, kinetic tremors actually it actually activates shoot to loot, and it is a wide, like it's a fairly large explosion. So if you can, but obviously you need a tanky enemy to do it. So like yellow bar wizards are tanky enough to sustain the 6 shots that it takes or so from hung jury to proc kinetic tremors, and then that's going to scoop up like all of the orbs and ammo that are in that area of the tremor. So that's just one point that I forgot to mention during the breakdown. Yeah, shoot to loot with kinetic tremors is good. Explosive payload is a little easier if you're trying to pick up specific orbs of power or bricks, but just kinetic tremors will like just pick up like everything in a huge area. That's it. Aeon's finish the night if he can. Oh, thank you. Nice. One more finisher would be awesome. Oh my god, that was close. Okay, I'm full on heavy. Don't need to worry about finishers. Okay. Watch out for Crota. He's wild. Oh my god. Thank you. Okay, it's okay, we got time. We're good. Only need one finisher. Okay, that's fine. Alright. I might get lucky. Watch out for Crota. Oh. Oh. I'm full on heavy. Watch out for Crota. Healing nade in the middle. Okay, I don't have well. I'm almost. Let's go. And I got the catalyst. I just gotta do it on Hunter and Titan now. How am I gonna do with the rest of these oversouls? Yeah, GG's. One more nightfall and I'm Paragon.